I had lived my life with purpose serving my husband. And, when he passed away, I thought I didn't have another purpose. And because I continued through, I found out that I have a new purpose. I really want to see you thrive in who you are and to just really, really live with that purpose, because your story can heal and help so many other people. Your life helps other people.
Welcome to the Big Money Influencers Podcast. We talk with top influencers and experts to help you navigate and prosper in your business. It's all about creating wealth, legacy, and an online presence. Here's your host, Ceanne Livingston.
Welcome, Shannon. I'm so glad that you're here with us.
It's an honor to be here.
Tell me what you do in a nutshell.
To know what I do is also to know kind of my past. A little bit of who I am is I was married to an entrepreneur for almost 16 years. I am in the entrepreneurial business where currently my husband passed away 2 years ago in 2008, almost 3 years ago in 2018. He had left behind some businesses, and basically those businesses crumbled along with his death because he had a 4-year battle with neuroendocrine pancreatic cancers. I had the choice to either bury those businesses or to revive them and basically rebirth them. And so I chose the latter. And I've spent the last 2.5 years rebirthing these businesses, rebranding, everything. Also growing myself in between. So long answer for a short question is what I do right now is I'm building a travel company. It's funny how life can go 360 because my husband, what got him out of a traditional 9-to-5 job was entering into the travel business. And he became the number one affiliate, eventually bought the company. Well, that company, travel provider, had went under. And so that actually went away when he passed away. This was just the recent stuff that happened. So I've rebuilt that, rebranded the travel company. Also, I sell to people Mark's courses. So he was a big entrepreneur who also created info products. Really, I help people travel, like the memories. And so for me, I'm a big advocate of traveling because all of my kids, you ask them their memory that they have of their dad, every single memory was either a ski trip, either an ocean trip, or some sort of trip that we took. For me, I want people to get out and experience. And I also want to help them with the mindset. So I'm a mindset coach plus entrepreneur with the travel industry. But I am an entrepreneur who sells wholesale travel and also helps with the mindset.
That's amazing. It's a little bit different switch in the conversation. Legacy, huge part of what you're doing is building legacy for your husband and for your family. When you wake up in the morning, what continues to be your power?
Gratitude. I mean, like everybody, there's good days, there's bad days. There's still days I'm grieving, even though it's almost 3 years later. There's days when it becomes so overwhelming to build companies from the scratch. When I haven't done this before, I was behind the scenes with my husband. I didn't build them. I did behind the scenes work. It can be overwhelming. And so for me, leaving a legacy means waking up with gratitude, no matter what's on my plate, no matter how much I have on my plate with the kids and business and trying to combine all of life and keep it together, right? It's to wake up with gratitude. I literally will lay in my bed and I just thank God for the first things that come to my mind. The first 10 things, whatever comes to my mind first, gratitude. I thank God for what he's given to me, for the gift he's given me, the life that he's allowed me to keep and to continue on. And I've known that I chose to believe that I'm left here, continue on the legacy for our family. And that's why I am still here. I had a choice to curl up in a ball and just hide everything that's happened, hide the death of my husband, hide the aftermath and the mess to clean up, just try and run from it. Or I could face it head on, embrace it, say, you know what, this is my story. I'm going to share it. And it's going to help a lot of people. That's really how I do it is I wake up with gratitude that I'm still here and that I have the opportunity to help other people through my story.
That's so cool. I have the privilege to hear about Mark's legacy he sounds like he was an amazing man. So that's really cool that you're able to continue his legacy. In your coaching or his coaching, either one, who are you serving?
Who we are serving is our mindset. It's mindset, right? And so a lot of it is, there's a lot of people that have these limiting beliefs, right? A lot of it's from childhood. I was just on a group coaching session yesterday. We had talked about, we're very big into inviting things to ourselves, right? Inviting honor, give honor to those above you, and then also encourage those below you. Well, if you're the person that is on top, well, what do you want to invite in? So the topic was, how would you like that to look? How would you like honor to look in your life? How would you like to invite that in? When Mark started out, it was when he got done speaking on stage, having people come up to him and hug him and tell him thank you and give him kind words. Same for me. I love handwritten notes or gifts, or those words mean huge. And I was thinking bigger, to where as I grow, Mark always said, your poverty is serving nobody. So as I grow, I'm like, well, I could see honor being people donating cars and land and homes. And not that I would keep those for myself, but they would donate those to me because they knew I could better serve other people through those gifts. One of the clients was on there and he said, I am not able to accept words, but I can accept notes. And I said, interesting. He goes, this one's a really hard one for me because I'm not sure. He goes, notes are easy for me to accept, but words are not. And I said, did you not receive many words of encouragement when you were younger? And he goes, no, that was just something that wasn't done. A lot of people don't make that connection. I help people make the connection of why they have these limiting beliefs. Where did they come from? And I teach them how to embrace them, accept them, and then how can they use those moving forward? How can they heal those wounds, but not ignore them, instead embrace them and use those moving forward to help others.
That's amazing. What does wealth mean to you?
Wealth means to me a responsibility. I believe to whom much is given, much responsibility is expected. Wealth to me means lots of responsibility, but a privilege to use that success to serve more people. To me, wealth means I've been educated. I've worked hard at serving other people. And now I've come to the point of, well done, faithful servant. Here you go. Here's the wealth. Now you're responsible for this. Multiply it and teach other people how to do it. That's what wealth to me means.
It's awesome. And when you're working with clients on their mindset, helping them to receive, that was a huge piece that I heard, that receive. How are you helping your clients and your people that you work with, that you're coaching, create wealth in their life?
How I help do that is rid those limiting beliefs. So that's the number one thing, because it doesn't matter what product you're selling. It doesn't matter what job you're at. You may like the job you're at and you're in it and you're wanting to go to the next level. Well, if you can't get beyond the block, there's a block. Like you can maybe get to a certain point. Maybe there's a certain salary you can make in a year, or there's a certain number of products you can sell and you make a certain amount of money. Well, you can't get beyond that. Why can't you get beyond that? I help people figure out in their lives, what is it that's stopping them from going to that next level, going over that hurdle and getting to that next hurdle, getting on to the next level to where they can receive more. And so particularly it's with mindset, but then I also have a travel product where I have a referral program where people can make commissions on. Those are two different ways, because it really goes twofold. Because if you don't deal with the inner workings, you'll be able to create an income. And there's some people where they can create an income and that's not a problem. But then maybe they have bad relationships, or maybe their house is a mess, like just their relationships and their kids and their parents, whatever it may be. Sometimes the hurdle isn't necessarily income. Sometimes it's relationships, different aspects to life. And so that's how I help them get to the next level, whether it's success in relationships or income, getting into the soul, and letting them recognize like these limiting beliefs, these things that seem so scary to get past or to face. I help them see that it's not that scary. Like it's okay. Like it's, you're not the only one feeling this. You're not the only one thinking this. There's so many other people. Then I have them do take action moves, helped people heal relationships with their parents, with their passed away loved ones that they were still holding on to different hardships with. And maybe it's going to their gravesite and reading them a letter and telling them things you've always wanted to say. It's interesting for me, even as adults, it's almost like our maturity level with our relationships stops when we're in junior high or something, because a lot of adults tend to communicate in the relationships like they're in junior high. What I mean by that is they're scared to talk to maybe their parent or a close friend about a certain subject. What I help them do is realize, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? The worst thing is they're not going to respond to you, or they're going to say this, or they're going to say this. And so I think if you lay out to them worst case scenarios, then it shows them, well, that's not so bad. And then I'm like, well, if that does happen, is that really so bad? Most of them are like, no, it's not. I haven't really thought about that. Really just kind of laying out for them what it will look like on the other side. And really that's how, even with business, with income, when I'm selling my product, when I'm showing them the travel product, I'm showing them what's on the other side. I'm showing them what it is. So with clients, whether it's mindset, you show them what is in front of them, and then you show them the other side. So with the travel product, I'm showing them what it is, showing them the product, and then I'm showing them once they hit the pay button, once they purchase and I accept to receive their money, what happens next? you're going to receive this thank you page. It's going to have this, and this is what's going to happen next, right? You got to show people the future, show them what is now, and then show them the future. Really, that's where to get to the fastest growth is.
I love that. Going back to what's the worst case scenario? I remember going into a seminar experience, and we played that game of like, if I don't do this, what's the worst thing that can happen? And taking it all the way down to dying. It just really gives you a lot of clarity on the truth. Well, if I go live on Facebook or I go live on Clubhouse, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Right, exactly. And I think that's part of the legacy piece too, is being future minded. I think of my kids, and when I'm old, I want them to stand up and sing my praises and say, Mom, well done. Like, you did a great job. Thinking about the future helps how we act in the present. Because a lot of times, instead of taking the future as like a positive thing, we'll look at it as like, oh my gosh, I got so much to do to get to that point. So I think if we look at the future and what we want, that helps in the present to really be focused in our time that we have I'm thinking of my kids in particular now that my husband has passed. So I'm thinking of everything that he did with the kids. It's like, even if you don't have a lot of time with somebody, the quality of time, it's like, even if you spend like 30 minutes, he used to give the kids like 30 minutes a day or something. Those 30 minutes were jam-packed full of wisdom and love and care that it felt like 3 hours. As far as the legacy piece, it's just that it's looking forward to help the present, to help how you live in the present.
That's amazing. So much things for me to leave this conversation thinking about. I remember, I think the first time I met you, we were in Clubhouse. You had a room on the purpose-driven life. And I think I'm pretty new to Clubhouse. I've been on there for a month or two. In that, you just got on there on this audio app and talked about this book by Rick Warner that I had read like quite a few years ago. I guess in my mind, I thought it was really complicated. Something, I have to be prepared to do this and that and lots of barriers. So
learn the secrets entrepreneurs can use to create wealth and legacy. Discover exactly how the top 1% are building financial success, wealth, and a legacy quickly in their business. These are the only secrets you need to create wealth and legacy when it comes to building your online presence. When you visit bigmoneyinfluencerlive.com, you will get free access to the exclusive Big Money Influencers Live business kit. It teaches proven secret strategies that successful entrepreneurs are using daily to create wealth and legacy in their business. Foolproof methods established business owners are using to live and build wealth and legacy. We know you're busy, so we have convenient audios, which include foolproof methods established business owners use to build wealth and legacy. Easy to follow binder notes. And if you're ready to 10x your online presence or ready to take your business online, you can book a call and discover how to get started. Visit bigmoneyinfluencerlive.com. That's bigmoneyinfluencerlive.com.
I guess in my mind, I thought it was really complicated. Something, I have to be prepared to do this and that and lots of barriers. So I've seen you have rooms on Clubhouse. How has that been for you?
When Clubhouse was coming out and it was hot, I was just a viewer, a listener, because I'm like, I'm going to check with this thing out because there's always a new trend, something new is coming out. I like to kind of quickly be a bystander to see where is this going? Are people using this to make money? Is it scary? I loved it. So like for me, it was awesome. I'd be making supper for the kids. It's like a radio podcast basically, because no one has to see you don't have to be on video. It's just your voice. I have my mute button on. I get to listen to all these amazing mindset coaches and speakers and entrepreneurs and moms and dads and you name it. They're on there and they're talking about their life. They're talking about their product. They're talking about who they are. And it wasn't, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I saw, a couple people invited me up to speak on stage with them. And I'm just sitting there listening, not planning on doing it. But what's cool is just the exposure can be so fast and so great. And then somebody can see you in the audience and ask you to come speak. You're able to give your input and your value. I think it's one of the greatest ways to give value to a large crowd. So I think it's beautiful.
That's so cool. How are people creating income and wealth using Clubhouse?
I'm going to be very honest with that. I am not too certain on that, but here's how I'm using it is basically I go on there and I'll talk about, so I have a travel product. For me, I use it. I get on there and I'll talk about the health benefits of travel. So I'll get on there and I'll just list all these health benefits. And then I tell stories about how it's helped my husband with the business being so intense and the 4 kids. And we share our love stories, our love making stories on the beach, or how it really brought us closer together as a husband and wife, telling all the stories because it's always about the story. And then at the end, yeah, if this interests you or you guys see the benefits of what a vacation or what travel could do for you, and then you can just tell them, where to visit. If it's a website or you contact me on Facebook or wherever it is, you close with that. But it's a value. You're just giving tons and tons of value. And then just say, oh, by the way, or your bio, just check out the link in my bio. Because a clubhouse they're more discreet. They're not just flat out in your face. Everyone promoting their links or anything. That's actually looked down upon. So it's more about giving the value.
That's so important.
And then people will look you up and see who you are and see how you can serve them.
That's awesome. It's all about creating content and value for people when it comes to serving.
But I think it's the easiest way. I think Clubhouse is the easiest way to do that because you're basically like a live podcast. You just get on there, you just get to talk. If people want to stay on and listen, they can. If they don't, they can leave. It's the easiest thing to do. You just get to get on there and be yourself and not have to show your face. Best of both worlds. You can be in your PJs.
Gives truth to the work in your PJs, right? One other question for you before I let you go. How can people find you?
Find me on Facebook, Shannon Holverson. Go ahead and give me a Facebook message if you want, or shannonholverson.com.
Do you mind sharing about your travel business?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That one is myroyaltravelclub.com. www.myroyal, royal as royale with the E, travelclub.com. Check it out. I'm super excited about it. There's a little contact page on there. So if you guys are wanting to get in contact with me, that probably would be the easiest way as well. So myroyaltravelclub.com. It's everything. I've kind of multidimensional, there's different links for everything, but really if someone reaches out to me, you've got a need, I can try and fulfill that for you, whether it's mindset or travel or coaching.
Well, thank you so much, Shannon, for being with us today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. This is so fun. I love talking about my story and what I'm doing. It's a powerful thing to live life and to live life with a purpose. If I could leave one thing, the audience today is to live your life with purpose. I had lived my life with purpose serving my husband. And, when he passed away, I thought I didn't have another purpose. And because I continued through, I found out that I have a new purpose. I really want to see you thrive in who you are and to just really, really live with that purpose because your story can heal and help so many other people. Your life helps other people.
That's amazing. Yes. So many of us, I've watched so many people get so caught up in losing a loved one. It's stolen so many years for them. I haven't had the experience, thank God, for losing a child or spouse or anything. Going through divorce it's a grief. But losing my dad when I did that was a hard hit. Takes a long time to get over that.
Yeah. And I'd love to, if anyone's interested, I wrote a book. It is on Amazon with Brave Wings She Flies. And it tells, I basically am very vulnerable in my story of my grief process because you don't really hear a lot of people talk about how they feel and the emotions they go through during the grieving process. And it's a real book of hope, though. I give people my exact stories of the first couple years of when Mark passed away and how I knew in the end of the book, how I knew that everything was going to be okay. I was laying in bed one night and I remember waking up in the morning, hearing my oldest son singing in the shower. There's a lot of people that sing in the shower, but this was a very, very special moment because I hadn't heard Isaac sing in the shower since his dad had passed away. So it had been a year. And so I remember laying in bed, tears just streaming down my cheeks and with me knowing that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Because my son was singing in the shower and I hadn't heard him sing in over a year. And so it was just kind of like an overall for our family, like a sign of it's going to be okay. Because that is a concern for me was the kids and their grieving process and their healing.
I don't even know what words to say, but seeing your kids going through the healing process and being okay.
100%.
Well, thank you so much again for coming on. And she's such a blessing. And I'm sure she's going to bless your life too.
To discover the secrets entrepreneurs are using to create wealth and legacy, visit bigmoneyinfluencerslive.com. And here's a big ask. If you love this podcast, will you take a minute to subscribe, review, and give us a 5-star rating? Be sure and share with your friends and family. And thank you for listening.